Every place you see red is a place which we will lose in Louisiana land over the next 50 years. And where you see red, I see families. I see families and businesses which will no longer exist unless we do something proactively to restore those lands. Mr. Chairman, in 2006, Congress passed the Gulf of Mexico Energy Security Act, or GOMESA. And this legislation, for the first time, allowed states to share in revenues generated from offshore drilling. GOMESA provided 37.5% of revenue to the Gulf states to begin in the year 2017, but arbitrarily placed a $500 million cap on the collectively shared revenue. Now, conversely, the Mineral Leasing Act requires the federal government to allocate 50% of energy revenue generated on federal lands to interior states in which the revenue is generated without an annual cap. Mr. Chairman, my amendment is straightforward. It simply moves offshore royalty sharing more in line with the benefit onshore interior states experience by moving the GOMESA cap from $500 million to $1 billion. This would begin 10 years from now. This graph shows that interior states are receiving 50% with no dollar cap, Gulf states less of a percentage with a cap. And so this shows that there is and all other states have the same percent but no cap. So now the House has previously passed a similar version of this amendment twice, once on the Pioneer Act and second on the Domestic Energy and Jobs Act, both last year overwhelmingly with bipartisan support. So I ask my colleagues, if you're worried about rising energy prices, I'd recommend a yes vote on this amendment. 30% of the nation's energy comes off the Gulf Coast. If you're interested in treating Gulf Coast states equally, the way we treat onshore drilling in federal lands for inland states, I also recommend a yes. And if you're interested in the environment, let me just make the case here that by the Louisiana Constitution, 100% of the federal tax revenue that comes from this will go to coastal restoration.
On this vote, the yeas are 238, the nays are 185. The amendment is adopted.